Hey there, it's Beth, and I'm up on the Crafty Maven getaway for In Your Pocket Tuesday. And I figured what better chance for me to go ahead and start my foundation pages for my December daily. So I only had a few minutes, so this is the beginning of my December daily foundation pages. And I'm going to share my thought process with you here a little bit. I always start my December daily pages with a 6x8 in the beginning, in the front. And last year I had a calendar in the front and a few other things. So the calendar that came in the main kit from Ali Edwards, I figured was perfect for the beginning. So I punched holes in the calendar because obviously I'll write on it. And that's why I don't want that in a page protector. I didn't have it in a page protector last year either. And then I put 6x8. The first page is a quote, and then the second page just has snowflakes, and I put the number 1 in there. So I never stick down my numbers, but they are placed in there so that wherever they are is where I'm thinking day 1, day 2 is going to be. Now I'm working on day 3. So I try and have about 2 to 3 pockets per day. It just depends. I don't always use all of the pockets, and that's why I never stick down all of the numbers, because it gives me the ability to then go ahead and move things around as I, December daily each day. Then my other thing that I always like to do is the weekend. So the weekend happens, and then I start off the new week with another 6x8 page. So you're going to see here in a minute, I had to stop the video, go check out the calendar of when the weekend was for the next week, and then I figured that out, and then here I am, I'm flipping through the pages to figure out what 6x8 I'm going to have in place for the following week. So that's how I break up my weeks, and that's how I know which week I'm on for December daily. Do I need to know? Not particularly, because it's a daily thing, but I do like to have the weeks broken so that you can see as it gets closer to Christmas more Christmas activities that are done. Like in the beginning of December, we don't necessarily do a ton of holiday activities. It's more towards the middle of December that we get crazy with December activities and holiday activities and wrapping and trees and all of that. And so that's my reasoning behind going ahead and having my weeks broken up. Now, with the main kit and the Jasmine Jones kit that I picked up from Ali Edwards, there are not a lot of 4x6 cards. So I can see that I am definitely going to be making my own 4x6 cards for this album, as well as I might end up cutting down some of these 6x8 sheets that came in the kit as well. I do think that this year I will use all of the chipboard numbers instead of flipping back and forth between different types of numbers. I really like these chipboard numbers, but I do know that some of them will end up being painted. Or glittered or embossed or whatever I come up with. Because this is just the very, very beginning of my foundation pages, I'm not sure exactly if I'm going to start doing that with the chipboard numbers now, or if I'm going to wait until I get rolling in December. I have not decided that yet. I do know I believe I have some gold embossing, what do you call that stuff? Embossing powder. And I have some gold paint. So I know that some of the numbers I do want to be in gold. I don't think I want any of the numbers to be like red or green. And here I am, you're gonna see I'm fiddling because the 6 and the 9 look exactly the same, and they probably are exactly the same, but for a split second there they did not look exactly the same. So I was fiddling with them and trying to figure out which was the 6 and which was the 9, and then I was like, well, they're exactly the same. And then again here, you're also gonna see I had an issue with figuring out when the weekend was and over and all of that nonsense. And I probably should have filled out my calendar in the front page a lot sooner, and then I wouldn't have had to go back and turn off the video and look at the calendar on my phone because I could not find the iPad at the time. And again, this was all done in a very minimal amount of time. This was done in less than a half hour. And the reason why I know that, besides the fact that I'm making this video, is that I had literally popped dinner in the oven and was like, okay, while dinner is cooking in the oven, that's the time that I'm going to allow myself to work on that. So my point being with all of that is that your foundation pages don't have to be this elaborate, amazing stuff. They just have to be there. So when you start your December daily, it's easier. It's more of telling the story, finding the story, and any other crazy embellishments that you want to do, you can do because everything else is already there. And that's what makes it so easy for me to actually complete these December daily albums. I do not have a December daily album that is not completed. And this is going to be, let me see, I believe this is going to be my 5th year now doing December daily. And it is definitely one of my absolute favorite projects all year. I enjoy December daily so very much. It allows me the opportunity to tell stories that I necessarily would not have told. And I apologize for that camera shake there, but I had to get the paper stuck so out of my punch there. But back to my stories. Sorry for that sidetrack. I just noticed the camera was shaking there. The reason why I love it is because I tell stories that I never would have told before. And that's why I think this is just such a fantastic project. And I thank Ali Edwards every holiday season for this project because it's just amazing. And the kids absolutely adore going through our Christmas albums. So I use one of my absolute favorite pens. This is from Jet Pens, and it's the gel writing envelope pen. I found it out through Amy Tangerine, and it is just the smoothest writing ever. So that's what I use to fill in the numbers on my calendar, and then anything else that goes on the calendar will be written in a colored pen because then it's too much black for me, and I need to break that up. So very briefly here, I realized that at 10 needed to not be there because that's not the weekend, or it is the weekend and it's not the day that I wanted my 6x8 to be on. And I decided that that remember pocket that came in the main kit is going to be the last thing in my December daily album, and that is where I'm going to write why I love this project so much, because I've never done that in my albums. So that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I look forward to sharing more of my foundation pages with you. Bye.